Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889 in Braunau am Inn, Austria. His childhood was marked by poverty and a strict father. Hitler's early life was unremarkable. He was a mediocre student with a passion for art. He dreamed of becoming a painter but was rejected by the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. This rejection fueled a deep resentment within him. Hitler's early life was also shaped by the political climate of Austria-Hungary. Nationalism and anti-Semitism were rampant. He was exposed to these ideologies at a young age. These ideas would later form the foundation of his political beliefs. Hitler's early experiences left him bitter and disillusioned. Hitler drifted through Vienna, selling postcards and doing odd jobs. He spent hours in libraries, immersing himself in history and political pamphlets. It was during this period that his anti-Semitism and interest in German nationalism intensified. He came to believe that the Jews were responsible for Germany's problems. Hitler's early life was a crucible that forged his worldview. His experiences with poverty, rejection, and exposure to extremist ideologies shaped his beliefs and ambitions. He emerged from this period bitter, angry, and determined to reshape the world in his image. The outbreak of World War I in 1914 provided an outlet for Hitler's burgeoning nationalism. The war, which engulfed Europe in a wave of unprecedented violence and destruction, was seen by many as a chance to prove their loyalty and dedication to their respective nations. For Hitler, it was no different. The fervor of nationalism that swept through Germany resonated deeply with him, igniting a sense of purpose and direction that he had previously lacked. He volunteered for the German army, eager to prove his worth. The young Hitler, who had been living a rather aimless life in Vienna, saw the war as an opportunity to escape his personal failures and to find a new sense of identity. The military provided structure and a sense of belonging that he had been desperately seeking. He saw combat on the Western Front, serving as a dispatch runner. This role was perilous, requiring him to navigate the treacherous trenches and battlefields to deliver critical messages. Despite the dangers, Hitler thrived in this environment, finding a sense of camaraderie and purpose among his fellow soldiers. He was awarded the Iron Cross for bravery, a testament to his commitment to the German cause. This prestigious medal was a significant honor, and it bolstered his sense of self-worth and his belief in the righteousness of the German military effort. The recognition he received further solidified his burgeoning nationalist fervor. The war had a profound impact on Hitler. The experiences he endured and the bonds he formed during the conflict left an indelible mark on his psyche. The camaraderie and shared sense of purpose he found in the trenches contrasted sharply with the disillusionment he felt upon returning to civilian life. He was devastated by Germany's defeat and felt betrayed by the government. The armistice and subsequent Treaty of Versailles were seen by many Germans as a humiliating capitulation. For Hitler, the defeat was a personal affront, and he struggled to reconcile the sacrifices made by his comrades with the perceived betrayal by the political leaders. He believed that Germany had been stabbed in the back by Jews and socialists. This stab-in-the-back myth, which falsely claimed that internal enemies had caused Germany's defeat, became a central tenet of Hitler's ideology. It provided a convenient scapegoat for the nation's woes, and fueled his growing anti-Semitic and anti-socialist sentiments. This belief fueled his desire for revenge and his ambition to restore Germany to its former glory. Hitler's rhetoric became increasingly radical as he sought to galvanize support for his vision of a resurgent Germany. His speeches, filled with vitriol and promises of national rejuvenation, resonated with many who were disillusioned by the post-war chaos. After the war, Hitler returned to Munich, a city in turmoil. The political and economic instability that plagued Germany was acutely felt in Munich, where radical political factions vied for control. The city's volatile atmosphere provided fertile ground for Hitler's burgeoning political ambitions. Germany was in economic and political chaos. The hyperinflation crisis, widespread unemployment, and political violence created a sense of desperation and disillusionment among the populace. Many Germans were searching for a savior who could restore order and national pride. The Treaty of Versailles had imposed harsh penalties on Germany, further fueling resentment and instability. The treaty's punitive measures, including significant territorial losses and crippling reparations, were seen as unjust and humiliating. This widespread resentment provided a fertile ground for extremist ideologies to take root. Hitler found himself drawn to the burgeoning nationalist and anti-Semitic movements that were gaining traction in the aftermath of the war. These movements, which promised to restore Germany's former glory and to purge the nation of its perceived enemies, resonated deeply with his own beliefs and experiences. In 1919, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, a small, right-wing group that shared his nationalist and anti-Semitic views. The party, which was one of many radical groups that emerged in the post-war chaos, provided a platform for Hitler to hone his oratory skills and to develop his political ideology. He quickly rose through the ranks, becoming the party's leader in 1921. His charismatic speeches and ability to tap into the public's discontent made him a natural leader. Under his direction, the party began to attract a larger following. He renamed it the National Socialist German Workers' Party, more commonly known as the Nazi Party. This rebranding was part of his strategy to broaden the party's appeal and to position it as the vanguard of a new, revitalized Germany. The Nazi Party's symbols and rallies became powerful tools for propaganda, helping to galvanize support and to create a sense of unity and purpose among its members. Hitler possessed a charismatic personality that drew people to him. His ability to connect with the masses was unparalleled, and he had an uncanny knack for understanding the fears and desires of the common people, and a powerful speaking voice that could command attention. His speeches were meticulously crafted to evoke strong emotions, often leaving his audience in awe. He was a gifted orator, capable of captivating audiences with his passionate speeches. His rhetoric was filled with promises of a better future, which resonated deeply with a population that had been battered by war and economic hardship. He railed against the Treaty of Versailles, the Weimar Republic, and the Jews, blaming them for Germany's woes. His ability to identify scapegoats and offer simple solutions to complex problems made him a compelling figure in the eyes of many disillusioned Germans. His message resonated with many Germans who were struggling economically and disillusioned with the government. The economic instability of the Weimar Republic, coupled with the humiliation of the Treaty of Versailles, created a fertile ground for Hitler's radical ideas to take root. Hitler honed his propaganda skills, using posters, rallies, and the emerging medium of radio to spread the Nazi message. He understood the importance of controlling the narrative and used every available medium to ensure his message reached the widest possible audience. He understood the power of imagery and symbolism, adopting the swastika as the party emblem and using the salute Sieg Heil to inspire his followers. These symbols became synonymous with the Nazi movement, creating a sense of unity and purpose among his supporters. His rallies became spectacles of pageantry and fervor, creating an aura of power and invincibility around him. The grandiose displays of flags, banners, and coordinated movements were designed to impress and intimidate, further solidifying his image as a strong and decisive leader. Hitler's rise to prominence was not without its challenges. The early years of the Nazi Party were fraught with internal conflicts and external opposition, but Hitler's determination and strategic acumen helped him navigate these turbulent times. In 1923, he attempted to seize power in Bavaria in what became known as the Beer Hall Putsch. This bold but poorly executed coup was a turning point for Hitler and the Nazi Party. The coup failed, and Hitler was arrested and imprisoned. This could have been the end of his political career, but instead, it became a pivotal moment that he used to his advantage. However, his trial gave him a national platform to further spread his message. He used the courtroom as a stage, turning his defense into a propaganda opportunity that garnered him even more attention and support. While in prison, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, a rambling autobiographical manifesto outlining his political ideology. This book was not just a personal reflection but a detailed plan for the future of Germany and the Nazi Party. In it, he laid out his plans for Germany, including the expansion of German territory, the elimination of Jews from German society, and the establishment of an authoritarian state. These ideas would later form the core of Nazi policy and lead to some of the darkest chapters in human history. This book would become the blueprint for Nazi Germany, influencing the direction of the country and the lives of millions. It was a testament to Hitler's ability to turn personal setbacks into opportunities for greater influence and control. After his release from prison, Hitler continued to build his political base. He was determined to transform the Nazi Party from a fringe group into a dominant political force in Germany. His time in prison had given him the opportunity to refine his ideas and strategies, and he emerged more focused and driven than ever before. He exploited the economic anxieties of the Great Depression to gain support for the Nazi Party. The widespread unemployment and poverty created a fertile ground for his message. People were desperate for solutions, and Hitler promised them a way out of their misery. Germany's economy was in shambles, with millions unemployed. Factories were closed, and the streets were filled with people searching for work. The despair was palpable, and the future seemed bleak for many Germans. Hitler offered simple solutions, blaming the Jews and the communists for the country's woes. His rhetoric was divisive and inflammatory, but it resonated with a population looking for someone to blame. The Nazi propaganda machine worked tirelessly to spread these messages, creating a narrative that painted Hitler as the savior of Germany. The Nazi Party appealed to a wide range of Germans, promising economic recovery, national unity, and the restoration of German pride. They tapped into the deep-seated frustrations and aspirations of the people, presenting themselves as the only viable alternative to the failing Weimar Republic. They targeted their message to different groups, appealing to workers, farmers, the middle class, and even some intellectuals. Each group was given tailored promises that addressed their specific concerns, whether it was job security, agricultural reforms, or national prestige. Their use of propaganda, intimidation, and violence silenced opposition and created an atmosphere of fear. The Brown Shirts, or SA, played a crucial role in this, using brute force to suppress dissent and intimidate political rivals. This combination of propaganda and violence was highly effective in consolidating Nazi power. By the early 1930s, the Nazi Party had become a major force in German politics. Their rallies drew massive crowds, and their election posters were ubiquitous. The party's disciplined organization and relentless campaigning paid off, as they gained significant representation in the Reichstag. They capitalized on the political instability and fear gripping the nation. The Weimar Republic was seen as weak and ineffective, unable to address the economic crisis or maintain order. This chaos provided the perfect backdrop for the Nazis to present themselves as the strong, decisive leaders Germany needed. The Weimar Republic, weakened by internal divisions and economic turmoil, was unable to effectively counter the growing threat of the Nazi Party. Political infighting and a lack of decisive action only served to strengthen the Nazis' position. The Republic's inability to present a united front against extremism was a critical factor in the Nazis' rise. The stage was set for Hitler's ascent to power. His ability to manipulate public sentiment, combined with the failures of the existing political system, created a perfect storm that allowed him to rise to prominence. The celebrations of Nazi victories were a testament to how deeply his message had resonated with the German people. Hitler's rise was not inevitable. There were moments when different choices by political leaders or stronger resistance from democratic forces could have altered the course of history. The complexity of the situation meant that many factors had to align for Hitler to succeed. It was the result of a complex interplay of factors, including the legacy of World War I, the economic crisis of the Great Depression, the weaknesses of the Weimar Republic, and the effectiveness of Nazi propaganda. Each of these elements played a crucial role in creating the conditions that allowed the Nazi Party to thrive. However, Hitler's own ambition, charisma, and ruthlessness were undeniably instrumental in his rise to power. His ability to captivate and mobilize the masses, combined with his strategic use of fear and violence, made him a formidable force in German politics. His personal qualities, along with the broader historical context, were key to his ascent.
Du meine Arbeit für richtig hältst, ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe.